was a photograph of a young boy, smiling, with blonde hair and blue eyes. The boy pointed at the photograph and then at himself. He did this a few times. "This is me," he said. "This boy is me." "This is you?" "Yes." "You are this missing boy?" "Yes, I'm him. I'm Carl Meagan." Chapter 1. Monday, 10th September 2018. Stannington, Sheffield. 4 p.m. Linda Armitage opened the door to the bathroom and stepped out into the bedroom. She was pale, and a sheen of sweat glistened on her forehead. She'd been sick. Again. She looked at her son Riley in his bed. He was lying on his side, mouth agape, breathing deeply. He was finally asleep. She turned off the television, which was showing an episode of Pingu she had seen thousands of times before, and turned on the monitor on the bedside table. Not that she needed to. When Riley woke up, he screamed the house down. However, Linda always needed to be able to hear him breathing. A slight deviation from the norm, and she was in his room like a shot to make sure he was still alive. Hopefully he'd sleep for an hour or so, and she could get some time to herself before she had to start making the evening meal. She flicked the kettle on in the kitchen and sat down at the table. She was tired. She needed a shower. Her hair was greasy, her skin was dry, and she hadn't changed her clothes for a couple of days. The front door opened and was kicked closed with a bang. Linda braced herself, but it didn't wake Riley up. Her 14-year-old daughter, Jodie, struggled under the weight of the shopping bags and heaved them onto the counter in the kitchen. "Are you all right?" Jodie asked. "Yes, fine. Why?" "You're pale. Have you been sick again?" "Just a bit." "Have you eaten anything?" "Yes, I had that sandwich you made me for lunch. I managed to keep it down for an hour or so, but—" She tailed off. "Maybe you should go back to the doctor." "I will. Did you get me some ibuprofen?" she said, changing the subject. "No, Mrs. Mortimer wouldn't serve me. She said it was more than her job's worth." "Oh, for God's sake, she knows they're for me." "I said that," Jodie said as she began to unpack. "They didn't have any ham for Keeley's packed lunch either, so I bought chicken. Is she here? I could have done with a hand carrying all this." "What are you talking about?" Linda asked as she rummaged in the drawer, looking for any ibuprofen that may have been missed. "I told her to wait for me outside the co-op. She knew I was buying milk. I came out and she'd buggered off. You're going to have a word with her, Mum. I don't mind helping around the house, but she's old enough to take on a bit more responsibility too, you know." "I will. Found some," she said, ignoring Jodie and pulling out a blister pack with 2 tablets left. "I wonder how long these have been in there. They should be all right, shouldn't they?" She poured a glass of water from the tap and swigged them back. "Mum, did you hear what I said?" "Yes, I did. I'll have a word with her when she comes in." "You mean she hasn't come home yet?" "No, I mean she was with you." Jodie sighed. "I've just told you that she wasn't there when I came out to the co-op. I assumed she'd run on ahead." "Well, she hasn't." "Then where is she?" "I don't know." Mother and daughter stood glaring at each other. "I suppose that means I've got to go out and look for her then, doesn't it?" Jodie said, irritation evident in her voice. "Well, I can't," Linda said, nodding towards Riley's bedroom. Jodie threw the pack of apples she'd been unpacking down onto the table and stormed out of the kitchen towards the front door. She was muttering under her breath, but Linda couldn't hear what she was saying. She slammed the door behind her. This time Riley woke and his screaming began. So much for having 5 minutes to relax with a cup of tea. Linda went into Riley's room. He was sitting up in bed. His face was red and screwed up as he cried. He was trying to pull at his hair, but he had his mittens on, so he wasn't able to inflict